Hi everyone, thank you for coming here today. We're doing, this is UC Berkeley Law's 15-minute lawyer presentation. We're doing an employment audit on the Justice Department. So employment law issues will come up. If you guys have any questions in the audience or in the webinar, you guys can ask them at the end of the presentation. So we'll try to keep it short and sweet. And my name is Desiree Lafleur. If you guys have any questions for me later, and my supervisor, Bill Kell, will be joining me in a minute.
That's my secret identity.
Oh, sorry, not Bill Kell. Someone from the Justice League. And note, you guys, as always, this is an intro to legal issues and common questions that come up when we meet with clients. It's not a substitute for working with a lawyer, which is always recommended, and you can make an appointment with us here and online to meet with us in person or over the phone. And this is the start of our scene. Hello, Mr. Goodman. Thank you for meeting with me today.
Batman.
I'm sorry, what?
Batman.
I'm not hearing you.
It's Batman.
Oh,
Okay. Batman.
all right, Mr. Batman. So thank you for having us here today. As I told you earlier, we're here with the California Employment Department, and we're conducting an audit here of this Justice League company. We got a complaint that you're running a sweatshop from a Mr. Jocker. I'm not sure if you know him.
Oh, Fawcett. That fiend.
Well, don't worry too much. This morning we began interviewing your employees and workers here. And we know it's not a sweatshop, but we still do have to go over some things that I need to investigate here. First, Mr. Batman, did you know that when you register with our office, or that you need to register with our office, as well as the IRS, when you have even just one employee?
Oh, gosh, I didn't know that. Can I do that with the Bat computer?
Well, yes, you can register online, and you need to get both the California EDD registration number and a federal employment identification number. And so now, after talking with your workers, I think there might be a little confusion about their status here. They said that they work for the Justice and the American Way, but they seem to not have any like set work hours or meal break or even overtime payments.
You know, we're kind of independent here.
Are you saying that they're independent contractors?
Well, what if they were?
Okay, well, the presumption is that everyone working in a business is an employee. And you have to affirmatively set up any other type of relationship, and you would do so in a written agreement. So I would like to see those since they're independent.
Oh, okay. Well, but what if they're employees?
Okay, well, if they're employees, there's like about 18 things that you would have to be following, which every employer has to do. Some of these things will require you to make different type of arrangements with health insurance. If you have more than 50 people, it has to have an affordable health insurance and such things like that. And well, let me ask you this. Would you say that some of your workers are part of the management here?
Well, we're all sort of part of the leadership of the Justice League. Yeah.
Okay, so for workers that manage others, they can be classified as exempt. And exempt means that they would be exempt from federal wage and hour laws. And this also means that you wouldn't have to pay them a minimum wage or any overtime. So
Okay, that helps. So what if they were employees? So these are employees, but what if we had some contractors too?
mhm. So you want to have a different contract arrangement, and you don't need to have a contract with everyone specifically that works
Not
for
with
you.
my employees. I don't have to have contracts.
Well, no, remember, since you're in California, California is an at-will state, so the employer and the employee can cancel the employment at any time, and it's for any lawful reason. So generally, you don't want to use a contract with workers because unless it's a permanent position that's important to you, and essential to the company, like a CEO, you just want to rely on a contract only in those situations because otherwise you can't just terminate someone. You would need good cause to terminate them if they have a contract. So instead, most employers hire using an offer letter, and then, of course, after doing a check on the person, interviewing, checking the references, and then you get the employee to sign the policies, which the employee will also agree to follow.
Well, okay, we'll do that with our employees, but I still think some of them might be independent contractors.
Okay, so if you have a written agreement and you can show that you're not controlling them,
You mean like the puppet master?
puppet master, I haven't heard of that company, but usually independent contractors work on a project-to-project basis rather than a full-time employment, or you would tell them, something you need done, like creating a website, and you have a contract for that, and then once they build a website and they do that, they will be compensated for completing that contract, and they get to work for others at this time, so they wouldn't wear anything like this company uniform, I assume, and they wouldn't get any training from you. They also can't be a key employee, again, like a CEO, so you can't also pay them like an employee. So you wouldn't want to be reimbursing their expenses, and you don't want to pay them workers' comp. So your employees here, are they doing anything risky?
Well, Green Lantern, he reshapes matter with his ring.
Okay, so if that requires a permit, you're gonna want that contract you have with them to require him to file for that permit. And if this Mr. Lantern is reshaping matter, it seems like that might be something that creates intellectual property that you might want to own. And in a situation where he's an employee, any invention of his would automatically be of the company. But in a situation where he's the contractor, then it would only be so if there's a contract that includes like an invention assignment, and usually we would also suggest you doing a non-disclosure agreement with them. So to protect you, you should probably get Mr. Lantern to get his own insurance, and this liability insurance should name you as an additional insurer.
Hold on a second. Alfred, get the bat broker on the phone.
Okay, so yeah, as of last April, there's been some recent changes in the law, in the California law regarding classification of workers, specifically contractors. In addition to the control aspect that we discussed, you also need to show that the contractors are performing work outside of the usual course of work in your business, and that each contractor has their own independently established business doing that type of work. So let's take, for example, your what's it, Mr. Flasher. Do you know if he performs work for anyone else?
You mean the Flash? Well, he does a lot of jobs for people. Sometimes a lot of people at the same time.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's good. So he's working for other clients too, and that's an important factor. You want to make sure that they're truly an independent contractor. And now I also saw someone named Mr. Robin, and he seems awfully young to be working here.
Well, he's my ward. He's about to turn 18.
Well, there's all kinds of laws that restrict minors in California, so when they're working during the school year, there's going to be a limit on the amount of hours that they can work per week, maybe like no more than 3 hours on a school day and such. And they also can't be working with any type of heavy machinery of sorts.
You mean like the bat copter he could use the bat boat, maybe?
No, those are heavy machinery, but he can use the bat mower, maybe mow the lawn around
Okay,
here.
all
So
right.
it was a little unkept when I came in.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's helpful. Okay, so what do we do? Are there anything else I need to know?
So let's stick with Mr. Robin.
Oh, wait
for
a
a little
minute. Could he
bit.
be like an intern or a volunteer or something?
Okay, so volunteers only work if it's a nonprofit business, but since you have a for-profit business, you may consider an intern relationship. It's a little tricky here because you have to set up that arrangement quite carefully. There needs to be a written agreement again, and there should be formal on-the-job training. The person could possibly get credit for the work that they're doing here. That way they're getting something out of it, and you can set that up through a local community college. And basically the bottom line is just interns, they're generally more trouble than they're worth.
Well, that's pretty much Robin right there. Right?
So
Yeah.
one other person I met with today, so Mr. Wanda woman.
Oh, yes, okay.
So she's a recent hire, and she told me that during the interview there were quite a few inappropriate questions.
Like what?
She said that she was asked about her Amazonian heritage and whether she could fight crime while wearing a push-up bra.
Okay.
The federal EEO office enforces anti-discrimination laws, and that's not our jurisdiction, but you've got to be careful, Batman. I mean, only ask questions focused on what's required to do the job and how it fits in with the applicant's previous work history. So,
Got it. Okay, that's helpful. Okay. Yes.
let me see. I'm also getting together a list of things that I want you to do.
But how do I do all this and fight crime at the same time? I don't know how to keep track of all this.
Oh, we often just suggest using a payroll service. I mean, it's great for peace of mind and it's also tax deductible, so.
Oh, tax write-off. That's great. I'll get the payroll office.
So, Mr. Batman, here, I've compiled this list of things that you want to get together. It's front and back. So before we come back again, you want to have that for us. And going forward, remember, there's only 3 types of worker relationships that you be classifying people as. And so that's employees, independent contractors, and interns. So all are presumed to be employees unless you have a formal contract and such otherwise. So get those written agreements. And be sure to clarify any fuzzy relationships, those are ripe for worker lawsuits where you might have to pay penalties and back pay for even things like overtime and breaks that weren't allowed or worked through. So think about Mr. Banner. I talked to him when I walked in, and you wouldn't want him getting upset.
No, not at all. Okay, thank you. That will be very helpful.
All right, so I mean, I'll just keep walking around checking things. Again, thank you, Mr. Bittman. It was lovely meeting you. Yeah.
Thank you very much for joining us. Oh, I revealed my secret idea. Here's information on how to get in touch with us if you need any help. Office hours are a regular thing down here in Fresno before or after our workshops. And we also do Spanish-speaking workshops and office hours at the Mexican Consulate in the afternoons on 3rd Fridays. So every 3rd Friday, you'll see us down here at Fresno. I hope you can join us. Every 1st Friday, we're up in Merced and Modesto at the UC Merced Venture Lab. So join us there, get some office hours, get some training as well. Thank you very much.